Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second week of Culturama. And we have today Tieners Carson coming straight to us from Portland, Ontario, Canada, which is a little village north of Kingston. Am I right? And today he's going to give us, as he always does, give us a lot of prompts. You should all buy Anders' books. He's got some great ones, right? And they are absolutely lovely and painful. And I think that those are the two words, lovely and painful, that define them. All right, so Anders, take it away.
Well, good evening. Thank you for taking time out. You know, it's supper time, isn't it? Over for you folks?
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock.
5 to 7. Yep, 5 o'clock. And up here, it's 3 hours ahead, so it's 8 o'clock. And so I've had my spaghetti, and I'm feeling very verve and ready of energy, ready to go. And so as I said, thanks for coming out tonight and taking time out, because one of the most important things for a writer is to take time to actually write. We have to spend time doing all these tasks and trying to figure out how we're going to get money and pay the next bill. But taking time to write is so important. And there was this one writer up in Canada, and maybe she wrote Anne of Green Gables, and she was actually a postmaster at the post office. And in the afternoon, after she'd done all of her work, that's when she wrote Anne of Green Gables. I don't know if you knew that. And one of my, I actually, years and years and years ago, in order to make some extra money, we had a little session with my daughter, my wife, and I all around the table. How can I make some extra money? Because, the average Canadian poet or the average Canadian writer make $12,000 a year, average. And that includes our big ones like Margaret Atwood and Michael Ondaatje and all that, 12,000. And one year I actually made $12,000, and I did the craziest thing. I had books of poetry, and I went to craft shows all across Ontario, which is the size of, to drive out of my province takes 3 days by car to get out of the province. I can get to Florida before I can get out of my province if I go up and over. That's how far, and it's only a 2-lane highway with lots of moose and wildlife. And I was selling these books, and I got to sell in this one town called Sudbury. And Sudbury is, it was famous for the largest nickel in the world. And at one time, the NASA would do testing for moon landings in Sudbury because they had the largest, it was like there was no wildlife left because of the pollution coming out of these smokestacks. So how did they solve that? They made the smokestacks bigger. So it blew further away from the town. It's typical, this is the 70s. And so I got to go up there, and I happened to hit payday when I was at the craft show, and people are selling their things that are cats. There was this one guy, he looks at me, he goes, "Andy, cats and cows, that's what sells, Andy. Not poetry. Poetry's never gonna sell. Cats and cows, Andy. You got to know your market." I was going, oh boy. And I did it for a year, and I made $12,000 Canadian, which is like not very, like way less in American dollars. It's like 8,000 or 8,500. So we had a little meeting at the table, because a family that have to starve, a starving artist. And my daughter, who was 3 at the time, saw all my manuscripts with and she looks up and she says, "Mail." And I went, So went down to the post office and I said, "Are you guys hiring?" And they were. I did the test. 2 of us passed. There was 50 in the room. And the next thing you knew, the rest is history. I've been working at the post office ever since. Started off walking, then I became a postmaster. And so coming to a thing like this tonight, this is where I get to, and you get to, take time just to sit down and write. and no one's going to bother you, well, I might ask a few questions and we want to hear other people's, what you came up with. So I thought tonight that so I gave you a little bit of background. I'm a writer. I've been writing for a long time, and I know Lloyd and John going way back now. It's a number of years, more than 5, less than 15. And I think we're going to start tonight with, I know it's a fun one because it's a little different. Think of the candy that you ate as a child. Now think of a candy, right? One that, and it can be, it could be up in Canada, we have ketchup chips, which is very bizarre. Who has ketchup chips? I remember when I was in the UK, they had lamb and mint chips. I've never heard of lamb and mint chips. Hello, welcome. And so let's think of it a candy, and let's write a poem about, it can be any style of poem, about candy, that kind of candy. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi, Thomas. Welcome. Thank you all. So what we're going to do, Daniel, is we're trying to write about a candy, some kind of a candy. It could be Pop Rocks. It could be, Baby Ruth, or something that comes to your mind. Candy. And where are you when you're eating it? Are you eating it alone? Are you at the beach? Are you at a ball game?
Oh.
Okay, there we go. Candy.
Okay.
Let's give it a whirl. This is time for you. All right, well, couple more minutes here. Good job, folks. I know candy. Yay. All right. As we traditionally have done over the years here, does anyone want to try him out with the group here? There's I've never done a candy poem before. Andrew, let's give it a whirl.
I'm just gonna say that I'm kind of upset because it's 5 o'clock and I'm hungry. So writing about candy is hard. Okay. Halloween nights filled with dental destruction delights of all sort, but my favorite, the jackpot goal of each doorbell, each trepidatious knock was Butterfingers. The soft give of chocolate and the hard crunch that melted and stuck in my teeth, morsels to have moments after devouring the bar. Prized, full-sized, but even fun-sized, scratched the itch. Then soon they were all gone, replaced by other treats, collected, ranked, cataloged, eaten in order, methodical, planned. As long as they weren't purloined by parents. I freely gave the ones I didn't like, the ones they grew up loving, the ones their generation grew up loving, that mine had no taste for.
Awesome, Andrew. That's awesome. I love dressing up and going out. Thank you, Andrew. How about you, Aruni? I see.
I can take a crack at it. We go to Woolworths on the weekends to feed our eyes. My favorite part of the store is the candy aisle. I shake purple maracas of Good and Plenty, listen to the click of chiclets in cellophane wrapped yellow. The best are the blue tin cans of Charms hard candy. I cannot wait to get back to the apartment, beg Thothy to peel back the tin lid, peer into a universe of colorful small planets tumbled in one sugary mass.
Awesome. Woolworths. Yay! Yay! Good job, Aruni. Okay, I saw John and then Thomas.
Okay, so do y'all know Big League Chew? Okay, I don't know if it was gone. Okay, because you are not allowed to chew Big League Chew, because it's forbidden, because you think it transforms your 12-year-old face into a man's, that's why you buy it. You open the packet and start with a strand or two, but soon you take some more and more until your teeth can barely jaw open and closed. And you think, yes, this is what it means to be a grown man. Walking badass down the sidewalk, blue jeans and masculinity gumming up your cheeks.
Awesome. I remember there was this American soccer team that came to Sweden when I was a kid, and they all had Big League Chew, and I thought that was so cool. I know exactly. Tom. Thanks, John.
Bill says, John, that your hair's all white. You make a good Santa Claus. She's laughing. Okay. Waiting for my game to start, I stand in line in the snack shack, pennies in hand, yearning for a watermelon stick, pixie sticks, and bubble gum, hoping I get my first hit. I played 2 years baseball as a kid, quit after that because it upset me so much. I got one hit, a double, and mom was watching my brother's game.
Oh.
Upset her so much.
Oh, thank you, Thomas. Awesome. Anybody else? I tried it. Mine is called Saturday candy. When I get off the plane in Copenhagen, I want to go directly to our favorite place. It's the candy store at Tivoli, which is a garden, amusement park, and an atmosphere that makes you burn. It's a 135-year-old park where families gather. As a child in Sweden, Saturday was the special day. It was the time for lördagsgodis, which is Saturday candy, and you writhe all week waiting for that bowl of bliss. You get to choose the varieties, some so sour it blows your taste buds silly, others so salty you need 2 glasses of water. But the thing I remember most is the lack of color, because dyes were forbidden, so all the gum was white. They had Coca-Cola flavor white gum. Still a novelty even today. I remember those days. Saturday candy, watching the 2 black and white stations, and everything was fine. Just fine. Yay. All right. Anybody else? We're good?
Anders, Edna posted her poem in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry, I didn't go. Oh, sorry, I got to see the. You're making me do 2 things at once. This is a lot.
Would you like me to read it, Anders?
Yes, could you?
Yeah. And it's coming in from New Zealand, and something's going on for Mike. So everything was worth it. The urine smell, the brown stains in the bottom of the soup dish you were forced to once you braved it all. The gray taste of the tea you were served with a toothless smile for dessert. Everything was worth it. For the 3 little candies, twee pink, ein while coated with the sweetest shell, it was impossible to bite. So you sucked through all the sugar till you got to the almond inside. It was worth visiting Granny every week till she died. Oh wow, that's powerful.
That is. But I know, like, visiting, my granny had a little drawer where she had candies and you could go to when you went to see her, and I remember. And sometimes they were not as fresh as other times, but you went anyway. Nice. Thank you, Edna. So here we go. Let's go on. There we go. Let's go on to the next one here. Okay. The next one is, I know it's pets. What kind of pet do you have? Is it a pet dog? Was it a special pet cat? Was it a llama? Was it a pet rock that was big like in the 70s? Iguana? Snake? Something that you remember why it was special to have that bond with the pet. Could be a horse. It could be, I'm just giving some ideas here. You see, you can run with it. We're writers. We're good at this. A pet. Now, it's not Candy Andrew, I promise. But let's give this one a whirl. I was so proud of all of you. That was awesome work. Now we're going to try a pet. And here we go. couple more. Hello, does anyone? All right. Anyone want to give that one a try? Okay, Andrew, I saw a hand there.
So I didn't get to finish it because I think it's going to be a pretty long one, but here we go. I remember my dad saying that I could get a cat, that his ex-girlfriend, the one who tended bar, smoked, drank booze from a 64-ounce thermos, and had terrible taste in men, my dad included, that she had kittens that needed to be adopted. We went over, visited with the ex-girlfriend and her 2 daughters, friends by proximity with my brother and me, and I chose the runt, Cupcake, because she was beautiful, unique with her gray sand and brilliant eyes, and the beauty mark above her right eye. I named her Jasmine after the Disney princess I loved the most, the one I wanted to be friends with, the one who stood up and had a mind of her own, even if she ended up with the hoodlum in the end. As the runt, she fought for food, clamored for meals, and ate anything set in front of her, or in reach at least once, including vinegar dressing, potato chips, and the various delicacies of Southern California wildlife. Once, she snuck a chicken breast still on the grill, and taking her prize, she feasted.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Awesome. How about you, Thomas? And then we got John.
Okay. I just thought about it. I probably could write a whole chapbook on on our pets. Eve was my first pet that was all my own. My friend Ben had a St. Bernard named Pink, and he wanted to breed her. So we drove out to Hemet in my 63 Bug to see the male, a big bruiser, way too fat. And for my trouble, I got a female pup. Before she was full grown, she escaped from the backyard and we never found her. I guess someone else had good memories of her.
Yes. Yes. Thanks, Thomas. John?
So this is about Pekingese that I used to have named Muffin. So I had a Pekingese named Muffin who liked to ride on the gas tank of my motorcycle, who loved heavy metal music, whose face had been smashed in a bit from a puppyhood fight, so his tooth snaggled outside his face, who dared you, just dared you to laugh at his name.
That sounds like one tough. I dare you. I dare you. Okay, thank you, John. Chris?
Hi, sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little bit weird today, so I just can't be on camera. But here's mine. Every Sunday afternoon, my dad will let out my pet birds, the budgies I picked out because I liked blues and greens. I had imprinted my mom's fear of animals. Getting birds was my dad's solution. It may have worked. I was young, 3 or 4. I was starting to get attached to Sam and Sandy. One night, they played classic movies, the black and white kind, back when we only had one TV and all had to take turns on what to watch. My dad, who never looked at ratings, let me watch Hickok's birds. Needless to say, Sunday afternoons, when they were allowed to fly anywhere in the house, I was under my bed with the door shut, reading my Archie comics.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to give it a whirl? Okay, hey, I'll try it. Oh, Roma, I found you meowing in my wheel well around this time 17 years ago. I just locked up the post office and was going towards the car, and I heard you. I reached in and you fit in my hand. I called my wife. It was cold, and big decisions in the cold should be best worked out together. I asked if I could bring the kitty home. And for the next 17 years, you were there for our children, through troubled times in school, through troubling times with friends, and a companion to all of us. Just last month, our youngest flew away, and the next day, our cat took moving, only trying to find from the sun, moving from room to room, and her breaths would get longer and her body still. She left us, and my wife and I had to dig a hole deep enough to keep the coyotes away. We buried you with the bowl that gave you daily cream, a puzzlement for future archaeologists. Now in the house, there is nothing but mouse heartbeats and wind at the door.
Yeah, I know.
You guys rock. Well, let's try the next one. Okay. You know what I thought we'd try? Let's try a short one. Short, little, haiku. 5, 7, 5. Can be on anything. 5, 5, 7, 5. 5, 7, 5. See how many we can write. Might be only one, might be two, might be a whole slew. 5, 7, 5. We'll give it a couple more minutes. All right. Does anyone want to try? I know, haiku. We haven't done these in a while. Chris, and then Andrew.
Okay, light through the window dances with the leaves of the spiky spider plant.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. Andrew?
I'm overly ambitious, so I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think the only the last one's not the right syllable count, but here we go. Window open this November to cool my room. 90 degrees. Ugh. Leaves change daily from green to yellows, oranges, reds. Fall at the end. Crash of waves below bridge, and I look to the fog above the ocean. Rain patters on patio roof, waterfall flows to brick lake. I fall asleep. Wood smoke rises from chimneys, not cool enough for fires. Lovely smell. Dust, motes of skin, hair, sloughed detritus collects everywhere. No end. Lotion skin more in winter, dry air from heaters, closed home, desperate skin. That's it.
Awesome. That's great, Andrew. Thank
Thanks.
you. Woo! We got Thomas, and then we've got a Rooney.
Okay. I almost did 575 on one. The rest were shorter because I won't follow those rules. But and I'm actually trying what I consider true haiku because I have 4. I stopped at 4 because I followed in the seasons. Let's see if that works. Silence on the ground. The snow reflects the stars. I close the door. New life bursts through the soil. Fresh joy. The bright sun lingers long, well into the night. Waning year, shock of color drop from the trees. Hit all 4 seasons.
Awesome. Awesome, Thomas. Thank you. Aruni.
Okay, let's see. Crabapple tree bursts. Explosion of pink blossoms. Snows petals in spring. Orange tabby stalks. Selects crow from the murder. Clash of yard titans. 50-gallon tank. Swirl of black moors swim. Flutter. Watch them watch us back. That's it. That was taxing.
Awesome. Thank you, Aruni. How about you, John?
I just want to read the ones that are in the chat because there are a couple. Edna is first. International sharing our hearts with strangers over a Zoom class. I love that one. And Nina said, "Oh wow!" Nina said she managed 6, but she's going to give us one. Night sky cannot be admired through closed curtains, nor dream-filled starry eyes. Oh. Let's see, there might be another. Yep. Okay, that's a.
That's awesome. And I did 4 too. I don't know where that came from, Tom. Tirade before noon, bottles empty around messy chair, asleep, peace at last. Deep breath of AM yoga, clammy hands evaporate, stillness so good, yum. Capturing snowflakes, tongue uncurled, got one, none alike now. Belly aching work, folding envelopes, just so, searching for donors. Those are my 4. See, we did some haiku. See, this is awesome. Friday, and we can do haiku too. All right. And does anybody else? I don't see any other hands. Okay, let's go on to the next one. And even if you're not wanting to share, that's fine. You have stuff that you can take away. It might be the start of something else. So this one is a different one. It's something that, people ask, what do you write about? Like, what do you normally write about? Well, those of you who've read my stuff, a lot of it revolves around families or relationships that are within families. And, some people find solace in a bottle. Some people find it in injecting things into your arm. But for me, it was poetry to help get me through the darkness and families. I remember my first book of poetry that was like a full-length book was called A Different Shred of Skin. And that's years ago. Like, my gosh, 21 years ago. I can't believe it. 21 years ago. That's when that one came out. And so I'd like you to try to write something that you feel strong and passionate about, like within your family. You don't have to share, but it gives you a place and a time to reflect. We don't have a lot of time when we sit around those big tables and we don't say very much that's meaningful or lasting. But try to grab like an image or a feeling with families Could be about that aunt. It could be about your mother. Could be about your dad, brother, sister. This is a good group tonight. I got good vibes. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. 1 more minute. All right, and anyone want to try? I know we were writing. Hi, Elder. Good to see you.
Hey, man, good seeing you, buddy.
Good. I'm glad you could join us
Glad to.
this evening.
Elder!
Hey,
Hi.
So Shema, do you want to give it a whirl? I see Shema's hand up. Yay!
Okay, so I'm outside. I'm always commuting, so I'm gonna do my best to make sure you can hear me. I think of the inner child who sits in my rib cage, who's made it less cage and more clubhouse. What would she say to the small child in the brambles of my mother? Would she braid her hair, ask her why her tongue was blue, or why she had children while she still was one? I've read that mothers always disappoint their daughters because looking at each other is a kind of time travel. That our fingerprints are inverted lines impressed into us from their wombs. What does it mean that cleaning dishes means I'm almost untraceable now? A domestic spy, a vampire in the mirror, a puppet and pulling the strings. I wonder what lines on my palms are hers. How many people I touch with her advice. How many things I've done that she imagined I'd do, younger than me, but with her hand on her belly. Maybe this was why I was weeks overdue and they had to cut me out of her. I knew she wasn't going to do it right and I'd have to cut her loose back. And I just wanted a little more time.
Wow. Awesome, Shema. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, Chris, and then I see Andrew. I feel like I'm romper him. And I see Elder and John.
Okay, I'm not finished, but here we go. I was so busy racing through life, wanting to really start, that I forgot to live in the now. All the pain that rattled about, I pushed to the corners, thinking soon I'll be living the life. I didn't notice when you couldn't wash your clothes anymore, or that you were unraveling more than you were crocheting. When you forgot my name, it wasn't just that you were old. Your present day and memories of recent times were being gnawed on and then devoured by the past. I was living in a world that no longer you resided in. Every memory I have of you and the brinks of all the good times. And that's where I ended.
Awesome. Chris, see, you grabbed something and now you'll be able to finish it when you're ready. Thank you for sharing, Chris. And then I saw Andrew. Did you have yours up, Andrew? I thought I saw that.
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff so far, everyone. Okay. It's never about the big things. Well, usually. It's about the small things, the moments in between, the moments that all add up to relationships between family. Like the muffins mom made for me because I asked, because I wanted snacks during my visit, or the pie she made for me, or the little inside jokes we share. Like the conversations with my brother about how we grew up, the times he took my anxiety as serious and helped me calm down. Or how my brother-in-law randomly buys me things before I can myself, simply because he can, because it is how he shows he cares. How my aunt made me a cake in the shape of a castle for years and then stopped, but how she agreed again when I found cake mix that worked for me, even though she may have been annoyed at me for flying. It's when I clean the kitchen or vacuum the carpets, when I bring in the mail or do the dishes for my uncle, when I bring homemade food to my brother's game nights, or when I took my brother shopping for groceries and he had no car, or when I buy special bread and give my dad a loaf. When my dad keeps his mouth shut when he could say something so outrageous and so wrong, but chooses not to. Or when he remembers himself and not his ego, his unending need to proclaim himself the Cassandra of this age.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Anybody else?
Elder has his hand up.
Okay.
I haven't really been writing poetry for a while, so I'm a little intimidated, but I was just thinking about this the other day. Had I known it was the last meal I'd have with my brother, we would have done better than Arby's. We would have eaten the good sushi he liked, the caviar I liked that he tolerated, the cheap Chinese takeout we both agreed was the best in Los Angeles. But instead, we talked about video games over jalapeno poppers and why they just suck now. Because it was another Sunday in many Sundays, in infinite Sundays to come.
Thank you, Elder. Oh, wow. I'm glad you stopped in. You know, I did a brother poem too. You know, it's cold in Edmonton. He's found a place to keep warm. Temperatures hit -40. That's the same in Fahrenheit as in Celsius. You'll do anything to keep warm, even if that means vacuuming in the nude for money. What we do to keep warm: light sparse fires, collect those discarded cigarette butts, find a shopping cart that is yours and yours only. I still remember visiting him a couple of years back, and we went to his hangouts, the places to keep warm, the 24-hour coffee shop that would let them loiter long enough to have the hands uncurl, the library that had chairs, but you mustn't sleep, as then they can ask you to leave anywhere to keep warm. At the casino, you need some semblance of cash or they won't let you in. There's an unwritten rule on the cold street. If you fall asleep, they can take anything but a life. One night, they dumped him outside of the hospital. He lost limbs and skin from frostbite, lost everything else. Now, almost half a century, and still with us, calling me, collect, and trying to keep warm. So warm.
No, that's really powerful, man.
You guys, you know, I don't normally write like that out in these. You guys are an awesome group tonight. Thank you. Oof. Well, that's some heavy ones. They don't, like, what did John say at the beginning? There's some joy and pain with Carson. There's joy. And, we had candy at the beginning. And now different kinds of wafers we're getting. Does anyone want to ask any questions or talk about writing? It's not often we all get in together in a group.
I'm going to ask a general question, then people can follow up. Just what are you working on right now, man?
We don't have to be. Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yep. Yeah. What are we working on right now? You're
No,
asking everybody, or
No, I'm asking you specifically.
Oh, me specifically. Well, I'm trying to get through the day, as I've been doing for years and years and years. It's been, I kind of joke, but it's kind of, in Swedish we say "det ligger någonting i det," and which means there lies something in it. It's there's joking, but there's a little bit something behind that humor. And yeah, so like the day to day, it's been challenging, like changes going all around us. My new job has been challenging, and I haven't been able to write about it where I know I need to, and I'm wanting to find time, because that was one of my neighbors. My neighbor's husband passed away a couple of years ago, and he was a member of parliament up here in Canada. So like he was like a senator, not a senator or like a congressman. And his mother was the mayor of Ottawa, which is like the mayor of Los Angeles. And years ago, she said, my favorite poet is that Anders Carson. It says the mayor of Ottawa. And she took me aside, a couple of weeks ago. She said, you have to remember to take the right, and you can able with the things that, if I don't write, then I go and I write more. And this is an affirmation when Culturama, when it comes up, I'm half joyful and half frightened that, oh my God, now I've got to go to those places again that I've been. So, but that's what writing is. We help people get through the challenging times, the dark times. I remember early on in my writing career, I get phone calls in the middle of the night. You understand, and I do, but maybe 2:30 a.m. like I'm trying to sleep. It's a hard one, and that's happened a lot lately. Not as good sleep, but so that's what my goal is to write more, John. So if you're asking what I'm writing, it's to write more, which of late I'm only writing grievances or oh, he's good at writing those. Great. Like, I want to be good at writing grievances.
Make him sonnets.
He uses words so well. Maybe like a grievance sonnet. Well, I was almost gonna play with going in front of the arbitrator, like the judge, and then do it all in poetry. See what happens. Because it's a 50-50 crapshoot when you get to the judge anyway. And if I catch him or her on a good day, who knows? So, but yeah. So that's what I'm writing. Anybody else? What are you guys writing? I like it. I read it. See, I don't know how to make it both at the same. I'm still figuring these things out. I'm not, I need the kids around to show me how to do that. But, Culturama is awesome. It's, I find it, why is it now in November? Is it also in April, or is it a twice year thing? That I didn't have a chance to ask.
No, we had to cancel it the first year when the pandemic came. And it took us until November to figure out how to do it again. And so it's just purely that. One of the parts on campus wanted us in November anyway. But now that's kind of moot too, because we're not allowed to be on campus all together.
Is that the rules right now? No one, if you're not from Mount Sac, I can't come.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit like I don't know, some sort of old horror movie. Outsiders not wanted kind of thing.
No, I know. So anybody else want to, is anyone else writing new stuff? Daniel, are you writing anything right now or no? I know I'm not trying to, but it's good to see you. I can't believe you came out. Yay.
Good to be seen. No, I haven't been writing lately. Scribbled things down here and there. But it's good to have this. Shema mentioned that this was happening, so I was like, okay, this is great. This will give me more structure and more encouragement to write. So that's why I came.
I'm glad you came, and you're always welcome here. John has made John Lloyd and toute la gang have made it elder, and like when I see the faces, I go, yes, my peoples, my peoples. And Thomas, it's, and then just taking it day by day. That's what I agree. So do we want to do one more? Let's do it. Do we still have it in us? And I know some are thinking of food and all that rest, but let's try. Let's do something that moves you. No, it could be an opera. It could be an article from your favorite magazine. It could be a good movie that surprised you, or a book, or a line, or something your friend said, or a gesture. Like I remember something that moved me years ago is I was 12 years old and I was living in Sweden, and there was this lady who had a shawl on, and we were going to this tea with at the retirement home, and there was this lady who had a shawl on, and we were dancing, and there was tea, and as I was dancing with this lady, the shawl fell, and I saw the numbers on her arm. I was 12. That was 1982. And here I was dancing with someone who had been in the camps. And she saw that I saw the numbers, and then she put her head back, and I spun her around. And to this day, I want to have the courage to have what she went through and could still put her head back and then just smile and twirl around and around with a young boy having tea. See, I'm capturing a moment here. You see that? Something that moves you. Go for it. We'll give it a little bit more. Anyone want to give the last one a try? John.
Okay, so this one's in tribute of you, Anders, and something you said when we were in Wales. We were doing that Dylan Thomas reading. Okay, I went to Wales with Anders to the Dylan Thomas Festival. On the bus from London, I asked, joking, "So is this thing a big deal or what?" But he didn't joke. He said, "We're going to make it a big deal," and we did. Even when our friend trying to tie his shoe on a slope flipped over backward onto Dylan Thomas's grave. It was a big deal even when the organizer got pissed off and locked us inside the theater. Life, of course, is always a big deal if you have your eyes open. Life just explodes in front of you.
That's great.
Awesome, John. I remember that. I remember the grave too. I won't forget that.
The poor guy.
Thanks, John. Yeah, he really went down hard. I know. And I see, oh, there's a whole bunch. Rooney and then Andrew and then Thomas. And I see Elder too. And Elder, yay, I love it.
Okay. I ache for New York autumn. Drifts of leaves crunching under bike tires, shortening of shadows and lengthening of sleeves. Back to school night, art on the bulletin board at school. Grandmother knit mufflers and Fair Isle sweaters. Exchanging baseball mitts for ice skates and Nerf footballs. Casper the Friendly Ghost costume under a cellophane window at the Five and Dime. Pillowcases for collecting candy and tin cans for spare change for UNICEF. Apples ripening in a bowl on the counter and spaghetti and meat sauce for dinner. Lampposts flickering on earlier and the porch light calling us indoors.
Thank you, Rooney. Awesome. Andrew.
I have a change of venue because I got hungry. Okay, let's see. The video is short, maybe a minute more or less. A man stands with a boy strapped to his legs. Each of his feet support the boy's. They are perhaps father and son, perhaps not. But this man walks for the boy who cannot. He is the legs powering the machine, and they walk, play a bit of soccer, and the boy lives for a moment or two, and the boy laughs in such pure delight, like he has never experienced such happiness before. And it is that joy that brings me to tears, this union, this caring, and this unadulterated expression of love between these two. Maybe it is because I want that fleeting feeling of love, so all-encompassing of support, so literal, that I am greedy, mournful, and full of longing, but also I am the boy, happy too for this moment.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes. Okay, Thomas, and then Elder.
Okay. Place the platter on the turntable, drop the needle. I'm not usually a Beach Boys fan, but yet when I hear the first notes to Wouldn't It Be Nice, I feel I'm home.
Thank you, Thomas. Oh,
Great album.
Elder, great album.
So I'm currently living in Mexico, and in the city where I am, there's a rapidly growing population of Haitian people who are either stuck here or making their way to the States or whatever, but they've been living here for a while, and they tend to take jobs that are very low paid and very exploitative. The skinny Haitian kid carries my lamp like a mother carries a worn out baby, as if it were made of skin and organs and blood and not of copper wires and tin and glass. He doesn't complain when I tell him it's still 2 blocks away. And he doesn't complain when I tell him it's on the 2nd floor. And he doesn't complain when the fighting couple that lives downstairs is blocking the hallway. He just doesn't complain. I give him a cold water bottle and a 100 peso tip before he heads back. The man at the store told me not to give him more than 20, otherwise they start expecting it. Merci, gracias, he muttered as he made his way back. And I keep thinking of the way he cradled that lampshade, carefully, making sure not to drop it, as if he had seen some mother do that somewhere, to keep a tiny neck from straining too much. Some mother, maybe his mother, somewhere far from here.
Oh, Elder, thank you. Wow. What a night. Oh, what a night. Dun, dun. This is really good, Elder. Man, you're breaking me. You're breaking. Really good. Anybody else want to try? I got it. I started one. There will come a day when I'll be able to sleep through the night. Yes, straight through. No sinister nightmares of having electric currents swirl on your skin. It will come this day when there's enough food for all, and that it doesn't get too warm or cold, but just right, just like Goldilocks. It will come with this inertia of sitting in meeting after meeting, trying to find solutions. Oh, you're so good at solutions. But it takes a lot of energy and a pound of flesh to offer, and it weighs so little, but it's heavy and it's sad when it leaves you. And it will come. The time to chop wood and stack it neatly, and you can get through the winter, even if the darkness goes and must come back. It will come with a twirling top of patience and a lot of well-thumbed books and the craving of knowing that yes, 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 it will come. This clarity, this view, this cry. Well, folks, that's what I have for tonight. Yip, 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 yip. That's all, folks.
Well, thank you so much, Anders. Tomorrow we've got a full day as well. So I hope you all come by, and we're going to have Michael Torres from this morning and Michelson Knapp doing a keynote reading, and that should be a really good one. Hope you all can make it.
Thank you all.